The first event of the WWE and ESPN era has officially taken place. Wrestlepalooza is in the books. It took place on Saturday night in Indianapolis at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And just to start it off, I just thought it was done in an excellent way. It had that special feel, just like the debut Raw on Netflix did back in January at the beginning of the year with the intro and showing the history of WWE, showing the history of ESPN, and having Triple H speaking throughout. And then when that ended, we saw Triple H in the center of that ring, and he delivered a fantastic message and welcomed everybody with tons of pyro. And then we saw the hometown guys, Pat McAfee and Tyrese Halliburton, appear. McAfee received a big pop with his entrance. So I just thought that from the very start was just done perfectly. But getting into the match a card here, 5 matches took place and started it off with shades of SummerSlam over a decade ago, where Brock Lesnar just beat down John Cena. The match went a little over 8 minutes, and John Cena got a little bit of offense in, but it mainly was a just Brock Lesnar destruction of John Cena from start to finish. Hit him with, I believe, 4 F5s, multiple suplexes. He took a couple AAs from John Cena, but he got right back up. Those didn't affect him, to say the least. And this was just a vintage version of Brock Lesnar. It just showed that when those two guys were in the ring, it was billed as GOAT versus Beast, and two guys that are facing off for the final time over 20 years after their first match and their last showdown at Wrestlepalooza. It was built up great. The match, on the other hand, was just what we've seen from Brock Lesnar in the past. It's just, he's called the Beast Incarnate, and that is because when he enters the ring, he is just a different level of athlete. And even though he is in his 40s, just like John Cena is, you saw the two levels, and you saw one guy, John Cena, who has, I believe, 5 dates left of his retirement tour, and then a Brock Lesnar who, if I didn't tell you that guy was mid-40s, you would think that guy has a decade or more left of his career. He was that impressive, that dominant, that vicious, and he picked up the victory. But before the match even started, one of the best moments of the night, before Brock Lesnar was about to be introduced, we heard Paul Heyman's voice, and him introducing Brock Lesnar just brings back so many great memories, because those two guys have been synonymous with each other throughout their legendary careers. To see that once again, even if they don't work together on screen in the future, to have that moment at the first event on ESPN was just fantastic. I loved it. The next match, we saw the Vision beat the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, and although I to be honest, I did have higher expectations in the past for this match. I think it was a good match. Do I think it was great? No. I think the Vision, they really played that heel role so good. They worked such a slow, methodical match by beating down their opponents, in this case the Usos. And I think in this match, with LA Knight as a special guest referee, there was a lot of weapons, tables, and chairs and other things involved, as LA Knight was just letting anything go. So I think that played into it. And would I like to see the Usos win? Yes. So it kind of is a little concerning, because Jimmy and Jey Uso, they went their separate ways. They come back as the Usos, the tag team, and they're billed as one of the best tag teams of all time, but they don't pick up the victory. It just shows once again how much and how hard they're pushing the Vision right now. They're pushing them as one of the best tag teams and one of the best factions, if not the number one faction in WWE. It's that simple. And going down the rest of the card, Stephanie Vaquer defeated IYO SKY. This was just a great showdown of athleticism. Great to see Stephanie Vaquer pick up her first singles championship victory in WWE. Former NXT champion, and quite a year plus she's had in WWE with NXT as well. She's really she's beat everybody in sight. She's lived up to the hype and more, and she's really just a different type of athlete than we've seen in the women's division, and I can't wait to see what her title reign and her first title reign has in store on Monday Night Raw. That should be great. The last two matches, CM Punk and AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and AJ Lee actually submitted Becky Lynch, and this match was a nearly 30-minute match, the longest on the card by far. This match just gave you everything and more. It gave you each opponent doing each other's moves. It gave you hard-hitting brawls, moves on the tables. We saw the women fight the men. We saw the men do some moves on the women and submissions, and it was just a great next chapter to this CM Punk and Seth Rollins rivalry. And I kind of thought this could happen because it keeps Seth and Punk still protected a little bit. Neither of them take the pin. Becky taking a submission, it doesn't hurt her in the least. She's an established star. But AJ Lee was the clear star of this match. First match in over 10 years. And, this girl, she just put on a show. She looked like she has been wrestling the last 10 years. She was that good, that smooth, that confident in the ring, and just her mannerisms in the ring were just, it was shadows of what she did over a decade ago. Great to see her back. Great to see her with her husband, CM Punk. And we'll have to wait and see what the next chapter looks like between Punk and Lee and Rollins and Lynch, because I don't think we're anywhere finished with that storyline. I think we could see two singles matches coming up next between the four of them. Cody Rhodes beat Drew McIntyre in the main event over a 17-minute match, and Drew McIntyre was about to hit Cody Rhodes with a Claymore through the table once again. Cody moved out of the way, and then that hurt Drew McIntyre's leg as he went to go hit a Claymore on Cody when they got back in the ring, leading to a couple of crossroads and the finish. The finish was a little bit underwhelming, I would say. I expected a little bit more. I thought this match was going to go a little bit longer. I even thought that there could have been somebody like a Randy Orton come out at the end. Am I mad about that? No, because I say all the time, when you can't be mad when surprises don't happen, because they're surprises for a reason. And if somebody isn't advertised on the card, you can't get mad and upset that they didn't show up because they weren't expected to appear and scheduled to appear. So I'm not mad about that. I think Rhodes and McIntyre gave us what we needed. It was a hard-hitting match. Cody Rhodes comes out on top. First title defense of his second reign. Where will he go next? It looks like we could see champion versus champion. Cody versus Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel in October in Perth. That should be an unbelievable match. Overall, I thought Wrestlepalooza was a really good card, really good event for the first show on ESPN. Can't wait to see what the rest of this partnership has in store for everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Ryan Wohl, and I'll see you next time.